Let's see
They came on foot, sir. They came on foot, sir. On foot, sir. They came on foot.
Just how many people are on duty here on this facility?
In all, there are about 55 men in all, sir. For the army, we have 31 armed men shared into 4 different axes here. Now we have the police, we have the correctional service, and immigration, the NSCDC. So in all, there are about 55, sir.
55.
Yes, sir.
Guarding this facility
Yes, sir.
at that time.
army facility.
What level of weapons were they carrying?
Personal weapons and support weapons. Now, sir, what happened initially? The attack started from the main gate. Now, while firing, the men actually responded. While doing that, then a big bang came from the rear, just to divert the attention of the men. They moved again, they kept responding. While doing that, some had already gained entrance from the gate. What they did, they came through the fence line, cutting off those.
They were on foot?
On foot, yes, sir. Immediately.
Like how many of them?
The numbered, estimated maybe 300. Large number, yes, sir.
How many were killed?
So far, 4 killed.
Only?
Because of course, sir, the IED was, they did not gain access by the physical engagement, but the IED bank, multiple IED banks, was what made them gain entrance or gain penetration.
You don't understand what I'm saying. You have 300 people.
Estimated, sir. Estimated, sir.
On foot.
Estimated, sir.
On foot. And we had about 51 security operatives.
So the attack was from multiple directions. I was not here in person, but I came for reinforcement.
If you can introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. I am Lieutenant Colonel Adisasa. I am the commanding officer of the battalion in Gwagwalada. And from the battalion, we have a platoon deployed here. So the men deployed here, sir, I am their commanding officer. And immediately it happened, I got
the platoon is 30.
30, yes, sir, with one officer. So they were here. They engaged and informed us and called for reinforcement. We came for reinforcement. The Commissioner of Police was also here. Commander Gasby, all of us met here. We came here.
But they said the operation took place for almost 3 hours.
That is not true, sir.
Okay.
So the Commissioner of Police is also here. For me, I estimate it to be barely an hour, not more than an hour, because...
But barely an hour, the response should have been better than that.
Sir, the response was even...
And the reinforcement?
The reinforcement came, let's say, 30 minutes after this incident happened. We surrounded the entire perimeter. Now, at some point, because of the large... In fact, the aim was to do more than this, sir. Because of the prompt reinforcement, that was why at some point they abandoned and escaped. We were also shooting even from the perimeter while we were coming.
So what are those you shot? What are they? The dead ones.
So far, we recorded 4 deaths that are then gone down. So of course, we know the tactics of the terrorists. They move with their corpses to leave no traces. But those that we've gone down, and we recovered one of their weapons. One AK-47
round.
No,
gone down. Where are the bodies?
Sir, they were outside. We left them here. I think they've been taken care of, sir.
4.
Yes, sir.
Only 4.
The ones that we saw, sir.
Okay.
While exploiting.
Let me ask you, CG.
Okay, sir.
Do you have anything like control room where you have CCTV and everything? Somebody is watching? Because this is supposed to be a medium security prison, right? What type of CCTV or cameras do you have? No, tower is somebody climbing there. I'm not talking about that. CCTV as well.
You don't have CCTV.
You don't have CCTV here?
The entire facility. So all the movements couldn't have been recorded.
Yes.
That's a very big issue.
And after we went through, we took us around. I'm very curious that going from one cell to another to release inmates, especially for the insurgents, the Boko Haram inmates, something tells me that there must be or there could be an insider in this operation. Because, like you tried to explain, that maybe there were people who were here before and would have been part of the operation. If somebody is an inmate here, he doesn't have access to all the parts, you know?
All the cells.
All the cells. So we have to, as much as possible, think very widely on what could have happened here, because one, I think it's so unfortunate that we don't even have CCTV here. This a medium security prison facility, and two is the one that is here in the Federal Capital Territory, and therefore, if others in other facilities elsewhere wouldn't have the standard as low as getting CCTV, this place shouldn't suffer from that. Definitely, this is supposed to be a top-notch facility, and therefore there was no way you could detect anybody but 300 people or so to trek. That also tells us a lot, that nobody saw them coming here. There was no previous information or intelligence for you here to know that something like that would happen, or that the response was not timely, or maybe they were overwhelmed. So there are a lot of things, really. We are here because we are the arm of government that appropriates money. And this attack here is not only a jailbreak. It's showing the problems associated with our security system in the country. Because for about 300 people to trek to this facility, come and do this kind of operation, and walk away, and go away, and out of the 300, maybe 4 were taken out, says a lot about what our security situation is. So we are not looking at just the jailbreak, but the larger security implication, because this is the FCT in the first place. And now with criminals and insurgents a wall everywhere, it's not safe, especially the seat of government. So for us, our committees, relevant committees, will do much more than we are here to do, because they will engage you, will ask more questions, and of course with the support of our consultants, we need to find what should be a medium security prison in the FCT, because this facility, honestly, is not fit, not even low, to be called a medium, not even low security correctional center. So I want you to be ready with every possible response, because what we are trying to do is to ensure that we are all on the same page at the end of the day, to make this facility and others elsewhere, because if this is what it is in the FCT, in other areas far away from the center of government will be worse. That's the possibility, and we cannot afford to have criminals taking over our facilities and discharging their colleagues and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, that complicates further the security situation that we are in already. So you should be very supportive when relevant committees like Committee on Interior and other security-related committees. Going back to the commander here, has this practice been there for long, or it is a recent practice of getting a platoon here?
No, sir. It has been here for long, sir. And it has been here for long for the military platoon and all other security agencies. So this is how we've been, and to a great extent, we've used the platoon to cover this place properly. And the men, in all fairness, because I came for reinforcement, the men actually tried to engage them not to gain access. I'm not talking about the military only, even the other armed men. What gave them access here was the IED. Sir, the IEDs were multi. We've gone around. They even left some that didn't detonate. We've gone around to see them. They were actually voluminous. Drawing from my experience even in the Northeast, the IED, if it sounds, the bank alone shattered because but the IEDs was what gave them access.
You see, the idea is not to respond. The idea is to stop them even coming. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
That's preventive rather than responding.
Intelligence. You know, not only that. I still come back to this again. We're talking about 300 people estimated. And your men, a platoon of 30, you are armed. You have the best arms here. And I'm surprised that all we are hearing, the way of casualties of these 300 plus or whatever the number is 4. It doesn't add up. Because if they know that their casualty is only 4 with a platoon, what discourages them from trying again next time? They can come back again. I mean, losing 4 people out of 300 to death will not be a big deal. So I'm very disturbed, frankly. Unless there are more, we have not been told.
So what we saw,
yes,
of course, sir, there will be more than that. That of course. But what
you are better be able to prove that to us. You know, but for as long as I hear only 4, I am very disturbed.
Mr. President, I think what you say is that, I belong to the Civil Committee on National Security and Defense.
CG, you are in charge of all the correctional facilities across the country. If we don't have CCTV, when did it spoil? No, let him respond. When did it spoil?
Sir, CG, with due respect, please.
We just went round there.
We went around. What we are saying is this. I think you must bring technology to bear in terms of what you do. As far as I'm concerned, at least if nothing, even the premises, the way it looks, there are issues. And I think this should be a wake-up call.
You see,
it should be a wake-up call.
If we say we are asking whether there is CCTV here or not, we are not trying to indict you. We are in all of us are enlisted.
Yes.
All of us, government is.
If it's not there, we'll include it now.
But what we are saying, you should be as honest, as forward looking as possible. We have to find a solution to this.
Yes, sir.
You have the list of maximum security prison in the country. You have the list of medium security prison, including this one, and even the low ones. But at least in the maximum security and the medium security prisons or correctional centers, we must have CCTV in those facilities. If we don't have here, or we have here as we want to say, but it's not functional, it means there is no medium security prison in Nigeria that has CCTV. That's the implication. And that is dangerous. You won't know what is going on. So it's for you. Anyway, you'll be getting into the details with our committees. But we want to see the 2023 appropriation. Providing something, we may not provide everything. But at least for the maximum security prison or correctional centers and the medium security correctional centers, should have CCTV at least.
Both in the perimeter
Yes,
and also
yes.
inside.
Yes, so that you have.
These are all observations you should take note of. We're going to engage you.
It's a failure of a security system. If we had a better security system, they wouldn't have been here. Somebody would have intercepted them. Or don't we have any tracking system covering this part of the FCT? Because I know that the DSS is supposed to have this tracking system. When you call someone, they will pick it up and so on and so forth. 300, I'm sure they were talking. They prepared for this thing, maybe not in a week, maybe even more than a month. preparing to undertake this operation, and also look into the possibility of insider or insiders, because if someone is going from one cell to the other knowing that this man is in that cell, it must be someone who works here, or somebody who is conversant with this place, not someone who was jailed here and was released as, because that person would have been locked in one cell, and maybe even exercise or whatever would be very limited to a certain space. So he would not know the details of where others are. So we have to look into all these possibilities. So I want to thank you once again for this, but our committees will definitely get into work, and you will be invited, but we should also have a request for CCTV in the maximum and medium security correctional centers, at least for the 2023. This one is a must, whatever it is. We have to prioritize that. Yes. Well, thank you very much. First of all, I believe that this attack on this correctional facility is symptomatic of the failure of our security system to prevent the attack in the first place. The attack is solely a culmination of the failure. We were told that about 300 estimated about 300 people attacked this facility. They came on foot. I believe that they should have been detected. In the first place, 300 people would not come for an operation like this without planning. So the planning might have taken a week, a month, or even more. And I believe that our security agencies should have picked from their tracking systems in the FCT. Secondly, having gone around the facility itself, we are disappointed that this facility does not have CCTV, something that will record or at least give you a view of what is happening and sometimes record the events. Now, this is a medium security custodial center. How on earth in the FCT facility of this magnitude we don't have even CCTV? It means we can say that all other medium security custodial centers across the country do not have CCTV. So we have asked the CG, the Comptroller General, to ensure that the request for CCTV in all the maximum and medium custodial centers across the country are included in their 2023 budget, because this is essential, this is indispensable. Now, as this facility lacks the CCTV or a functional CCTV, there is no record of what happened, except narration and maybe thinking this is what might have happened and so on and so forth. But if we had CCTV, at least the records would have been there and some analysis would have been made, and even arrests would be based on information from CCTV. Thirdly, going from one cell to another to release people, specifically those that are known to be insurgents, tells a lot of story. It may not be far away from either an insider job, someone who is either working in this place or might have worked in this place. I think we have to look deeper into what happened so that we find culprits, because when things like this happen, there should be sanctions. Where people fail to do their job properly and they are being given that responsibility, they should also be asked to take responsibility. If people don't take responsibility for their failures, then it means nobody will bother to do what is expected of his office or the kind of job the person has been given. The National Assembly appropriate funds, and this is the essence of our being here, but having this kind of situation today in the FCT, that we have criminals all over who are free now, all over the FCT, is very, very dangerous, and you can never have peace of mind. FCT is supposed to has the seat of government, and today that seat of government is not safe. So we have to do whatever it takes to get everybody back, and both those who are in charge of this facility and of course our security agencies on the other hand have a work to do. This work is to ensure that those who escaped are brought back, and if we are not able to account for some, we should be able to engage in serious intelligence work to get where they are, because God forbid, if the kind of people that left this facility decide to go on rampage, the seat of government is not safe, and that's not the kind of situation that we want. So we have to do everything possible to ensure that we equipped our systems so that they provide the kind of services that are required and expected of them. And I want to, at this point, commend Mr. President for also ensuring that he inspects this facility before he left. I want to assure Nigerians that the government itself is working hard. No government ever put so much resources like this administration has done. But I think as we give more resources to our security agencies, we'll be asking for more and better security services to all Nigerians. Thank you very much.
Thank you.